Most people don't spend enough money early in their retirement. I understand why. There's a tremendous fear that once you aren't working anymore, you can't replace the money when it's gone. So they start to subconsciously make decisions from a place of scarcity. I want to talk with you about that today because I've seen it cause some major retirement regrets. They say that experience is the best teacher. I had a boss years ago who told me that learning from the mistakes of others is far better than learning from your own mistakes, because if you can learn the lesson without the pain that normally comes along with it, you're far better off. Now, I've said it many times on the channel, but as a financial advisor, I've retired hundreds of times through my clients. I've had a front row seat to see hundreds of retirements play out, to see the things that they've done, the way that they've acted, the money that they've spent or not spent. Now, over that time, certain things stick out to me, specific moments, sometimes conversations. I want to tell you about one of them today that changed my practice, and it can change your retirement. I was meeting with a client of mine who I had started working with once they were already into their late 70s. I didn't know them early on in their retirement, and their situation was a common one. They had made it to a point in retirement where it was pretty clear that they had more money than they were ever going to use. And at that point, they were full blown into the slow go years of retirement. Now, getting to that point itself isn't a problem. What came later was. If you haven't been here before, my name is Antonio Cibella. I'm a financial advisor. We're not doing any financial advisor math in the video today. I'm just having a conversation like I would have with a client about something that is important, that impacts retirement, that oftentimes isn't really spoken about. I hope you find the video valuable. If you do, subscribe to the channel and make sure you check out the description. I got lots of good stuff for you down there. Fast forward a few more years down the line, and I was having a conversation with the husband, and he said to me, I really wish we would have spent more money earlier on in retirement when we could have enjoyed it. You see, at this point, he was well into his 80s. It was fully apparent that he had not utilized his resources as efficiently as possible. These folks had saved and invested and done well for themselves, and they tried to minimize distributions early in retirement because they were saving for a rainy day. Here's the thing, that rainy day never came. I always think about it like a squirrel getting ready for winter. They're saving up acorns so that they have food that they can eat all winter. I use the squirrel analogy to teach my own kids that they need to put away money for the future so that they can have some financial security. Here's the issue. After doing a lifetime of that, it can be hard to flip the switch when you get to retirement and it's time to consume some of those acorns. These folks were unable to flip that switch. It's like a squirrel that goes hungry all winter long looking at their pile of acorns. They've got plenty to eat, but they're scared that if they eat them, they'll run out of food. So instead, they just go hungry and wait for spring. So as I was talking with this fella, and we got deeper into the conversation, he told me that he wished that they had traveled, that they had gone to Europe. He had seen Europe because he had served there when he was in the military when he was young. His wife had never been there, and he wanted to go back. He wanted to visit a place that was pivotal in his life and share it with his wife. But they never went. European trips aren't cheap. He wasn't willing to spend the money to do it, and so it just never happened. It was something that they put off and put off. With the benefit of hindsight, they would have had more than enough money to go on the trip, but early on in retirement, they were trying to do what they thought was the, quote, right thing. And they didn't have somebody giving them advice to give them the nudge, to ask what the money was for, to see that they were actually able to do it. This was their only shot at retirement, and they were worried that they were going to make a mistake. So they tried to conserve as much as possible instead of consume. And now here he was, and he had learned from his own mistake. But at that point, it was too late to do anything about it. Now, I had that conversation more than 10 years ago, and I keep it with me in every conversation I have with my clients today, and I keep it with me when I'm talking to you guys about things like this. It's things like this that are the reasons that I say the things that I say on the channel. It's from having done this many times before and understanding that a real, dynamic retirement income plan that takes into account longevity, tax efficiency, and more importantly, what it is that you'd like from your retirement into account is truly valuable. It's never about the math. It's always about what the math can do for you to support you on your one trip through retirement. Now, this isn't a commercial for me. I work with folks who find me on the channel, and oftentimes they reach out and they decide to hire me as a financial advisor. And if that's you, don't get me wrong, I'm all for a conversation. But what I want to talk about today is that you need to understand what your retirement can truly be and not shortchange yourself, not hoard your acorns. So whether you're a do-it-yourselfer or you'll work with another advisor, make sure you're having these types of conversations. Challenge your plan to see what it can do for you. As I said, I remember this conversation to this day. I hope that you, the person watching this video right now, can learn from their mistake as well. Create a plan, or work with someone who can help you create a plan to make sure that you can get the most out of your one retirement. If you're looking for some insight on how to build your own retirement plan, check this out.